Hometime is sponsored by the Home Depot. You can do it, we can help.
Well, after 3 full days of refacing action, the old kitchen cabinets are transformed, looking great and ready for new countertops. Early on in the process, with Linda's guidance, we started zeroing in on a natural stone product for the countertops that would match the walnut stain on the facing materials. Once we made the selection, we put in an order with Dick Nelson, whose company handles all types of stone.
This is Lapidus Gold granite from Brazil. It's 3 cm, otherwise known as 1¼ inch material. And the main reason clients upgrade to natural stone countertops is it really changes the look of a kitchen. And we're a full service fabricator. That means we can provide the stone on the front end, granite, marble, limestones, onyx, travertines, soapstone. We can help you select it. We can come out and measure, we can manufacture it, and we can install it. We have 2 showrooms in the Twin Cities, and we have a full plant north of the Twin Cities. And at our showrooms, we have a few kitchen vignettes with different color cabinetry, and we have different granites on them. And we also have many edge choices that they can look at. So sort of help a client understand what a green countertop looks like on a dark wood or a light cabinet with a dark stone. And as they look at those things, ideas begin to form and the choices start to be made. And then we begin to look at the full slabs. And most clients don't have an idea of the wide variety of colors that granite actually comes in. It comes in reds and blues and blacks and browns. But if they wish to pick the exact slabs that are going to be used for their project, they can take a field trip up to the plant up in St. Cloud, and at that point they can go through and pick their exact slabs and see where they're going to be fabricated. They do have the option of laying out the slab with one of the sales reps. That is particularly important for clients with large peninsulas, islands, things like that. And then once all of that is completed, we now need to do a field measure. And we will send out our field measurer, Phil Corgis, to go out, look at the kitchen, and use the digitizing system we have to create a complete template of that kitchen.
Well, with this particular system, what we need to do is to lay out these 1-inch dots at the face of the cabinet, and then the reference panels. We have a digital camera that's very similar to the digital camera you probably have at home for your family. It takes me about 5 to 10 minutes to set up and shoot on site. When I'm done with the photographs, it all gets fed into my laptop and run through the digitization hardware, or software, if you will, at which point I end up with a very rough DXF, which I then feed into AutoCAD. That gives us a finished, workable DXF drawing that can then be emailed to our fabrication plant.
In the fabricating plant, a job would come in, go through the bridge saw first. At that point, the stone will be cut into the pieces, the sizes that were dictated at field measure. From there, those pieces will travel on a cart to either receive an edge, if it's a certain type of edge, or it will stand in line at the CNC to receive its edge and cut out its sink. The pieces will then go up front to the hand polishers, who will use a series of 8 pads, a polishing compound, and make sure that those raw cutout areas now match the top surface in polish. After that, it'll go to another holding area. They'll be cleaned, sealed, labeled for the client, and waiting for install.
So all in all, it's about a 2-week process from the template all the way to fabrication. And then, of course, all that's left is installation. So we have Sonny Dukewicks, Greg Keebleback, and Phil here to give us a hand with that. So Dick, give me an idea of how you get started with an installation like this.
First, the install crew would come in, size up the kitchen, and look for access to the house, which is very important depending on the size of the pieces and the weight. This house happens to have a long set of stairs prior to coming to the house, so it's going to be very crucial for them to use the right tools. We have suction cups, we have reinforcement bars, and we have carts, which help them get the large pieces into the house. As we dry fit it, we don't want to start the true installation until we make sure that everything actually fits the way it's supposed to. The sink is never glued on, it is attached with clips that are routed into the stone, and they cinch up and put the sink very tight to the stone, and then we just put caulk around it.
Okay. And then how do you deal with the seams?
The seams are done after the tops are all completely shimmed. We have a special suction cup mechanism, and we will pull it apart, and one of the install crew will mix up a 3-part epoxy. They will colorize it as best they can to match the stone, and then at that point they'll put it in, and let it dry for about 15 minutes. They'll let the suction cups off, and then we scrape the excess off.
Any other finishing touches that you do before you leave a job site?
After they've scraped the seams, they will use steel wool at that point to really buff them down. They will make sure everything is caulked and sealed with clear silicone underneath. And the last thing we will do to wrap up the job is to cut out the cooktop. The cooktop cutout is about 90% finished from the plant. The installers have to make a few key incisions, vacuum up the excess, and the piece pops right out.
And that's it.
That's it.
Nice. Now that the countertops are in, I'm starting to really understand more about Linda's choices in terms of the color palette and how it might all end up looking in the end. I think it's going to look great. How much longer do you think you have?
Probably about a half an hour. We'll clean them and we'll be finished.
Okay, well, I'll get out of your hair. Thanks.
All right, thanks. Granite itself is a great choice for a kitchen. It's quite durable. It has a beautiful polish on it. Very few things can minimize that in the kitchen. And the install went great. The seams all fit really well. There's very little shimming needed to be done. We had a little scribing on some sheetrock. Other than that, it was an ideal job.
So that's the full story on countertops, and with all the surfaces in now, we'll soon be ready to bring in new lights and new appliances and get everything hooked up.
Well, the kitchen makeover is complete and all is looking very nice. In terms of days and weeks, it was not all that long ago that we first toured the place with designer Linda Engler. But in terms of design, well, you might say it was about 30 years ago since the lights, the cabinets, laminate countertops, and most of the appliances, none of which match by the way, all seem to be right out of the 1970s.
Well, Linda spoke and we listened, and with her to guide us, we have totally updated all the surfaces and brought this kitchen into the 21st century with new lighting, the walnut facelift for the cabinets, the granite countertops, the new sink and faucet, the ceramic tile backsplashes, and the modern energy-efficient appliances with matching stainless steel finishes.
Well, thanks to some great choices, we are more than covered design-wise. What about function? Well, for instance, the refrigerator, freezer down here on the bottom, and then on the top we have French doors. Makes it very easy to load groceries in, load them back out again. We have magnetic strips running all the way around, very energy efficient. Again, this is Energy Star rated. Then the countertop depth blends in beautifully with the cabinets for that really custom built-in look.
The dishwasher is also Energy Star rated, and it has not just 2 racks, but 3 racks, which makes it really easy to do a nice big load of dishes. Plus it has a nice durable stainless steel tub. The sink and faucet has a contemporary kind of sleek look with a rectangular shaped sink, and then the faucet has its own pull down with an on-off switch, which is pretty nice. And then to complete this kitchen cleanup package, we also have a 3/4 horse disposer installed underneath one of our sink bowls.
Then we also reconfigured the old oven cabinet so we could fit in a brand new microwave and a new convection oven that not only cooks 30% faster than a regular oven, but also has a third element to even out baking and browning. Really nice to have.
And the cooktop has 4 gas burners with this downdraft vent in the middle, which eliminates the need for any overhead hood and gives us a lot of room for our nice new pendant lights with these opal shades and nickel-plated stems. There are also plenty of can lights overhead for some general lighting, and then for some task lighting underneath the cabinets, we have some under cabinet lighting with a nice system that has a junction box hidden in the cabinets. And then the lamp holders are an antique bronze, which matches nicely with our new walnut cabinets.
So that's how we're going to wrap up phase 2 here in the kitchen. You have to join us next time as we wrap up phase 1 in the living room and dining room.
Yep, don't forget we still have flooring and furniture to go in there. Plus we're going to bring back Linda Engler and have her show us how all that ties into what we've done in here in the kitchen. So till then, I'm Miriam Johnson.
And I'm Dean Johnson. Thanks for watching.